Well, Noel, thanks for coming today. So you meet business owners pretty much every day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably more than most people. What are you finding that is probably the biggest challenge of most business owners leading to?
Because I meet with like small business owners mostly, say turning over up to about 5 mil. I think cash is still king. Cash flow is normally the main thing that they mention, and they talk about they're having issues with, and then how we can help assist with that, or who we can put them in contact to kind of rectify that issue.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
So I usually get asked. Well, actually, I was asked the other day to what does a bookkeeper actually do? And that's one of the core questions, because you've got an accountant, and then there's a bookkeeper, and then you might have internal staff, but why would you use a bookkeeper instead of just your accountant? Yeah,
well, the two main functions that I normally explain to the client is compliance and management. So you can kind of divide into those two categories. In terms of compliance, we do you make sure your BAS is lodged, make sure all the tax is looked after properly, that you're withholding the right amounts from your employees and things like that. Right. In terms of the management side, which is the exciting side of the side that we like looking after, is helping the business owner with timely and accurate financial information, getting the accounts reconciled so that they can look at their profit and loss and make those decisions from there.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah.
No, that's a good point. So, we've thought about using bookkeepers before, and you get approached by bookkeepers. Actually, I've used bookkeepers before in the past, and they outsource their accounts to overseas counterparts, and there's backwards and forwards. Yeah. If I'm trying to find a bookkeeper, what are some of the things to look for, and what's a good trait of a bookkeeper?
Absolutely. Qualifications. I think it's in the past it was underrated or wasn't regulated even. But now, you need to be a BAS agent to be able to lodge BASs and things like that. We can't be adjudicating on GST now, unless you have those kind of qualifications. So, qualifications, number one, experience in your relevant industry. There's nuances for every industry that one bookkeeper may not know from the next. Right. So those are the kind of things that, say, perhaps engaging a team or a company may start to cover, because they have that team availability, the shared resource there.
So is one of the main things to look for is, you were just saying it's regulated now, but when you go and engage a bookkeeper, like in your firm, is each bookkeeper actually, are they got some kind of qualification?
Yeah, absolutely. Every bookkeeper we take on are degree qualified at university level. So from the start point, from our starting point, we were already a little bit ahead of what is required to be a bookkeeper, but then we put them through additional training.
Yeah,
so,
okay. Yeah, cool. Probably more of the hot topic over the last couple of years is the cloud.
Yeah.
Accounting moving into the cloud. You've got the rise of Xero and other types of products coming in. MYOB, you've just released their latest one.
Yeah.
Out of any of those, is there any one of those that you would recommend more over the others? And is there anything else happening in that space which is going to help business owners?
Well, every time we meet with a client, we ask what their needs are. I think it would be, foolish to recommend a product without listening to their needs first. Not saying we haven't made that mistake before. However, that's what it is. So we ask the question, but what we find is that Xero tends to come out on top still at the moment when we're assessing the needs, as well. The add-on platform and the add-on ecosystem is really quite beneficial to most clients. I think we are seeing some of the other players like MYOB with their re-release of live accounts. That's now faster. So we're seeing them basically catching up on the cloud level anyway. And the final release of Reckon 1, which will be very soon. Intuit's now entered the Australian market with QuickBooks Online. So SASU is still there. So it's heating up. The benefit is for the consumer. With all that competition in the cloud accounting market, the end client, it has the ultimate benefit. I know there's price for each level of customer. Functionality should be covered with those kind of packages. So,
how would you say that having online accounting has affected, your relationship or your back office staff's relationship with your clients? Yeah,
the majority of our work is still done on site because of that. Well, what I said before with the management and compliance. If it was purely a compliance piece, it does make it a lot simpler. We can do it from the office. We still contact via email and phone. But yeah, definitely facilitating, say, the transfer of source documentations via cloud apps like Shoebox or Receipt Bank, things like that, and having complete transparency and visibility from both sides of the ledger has been amazing for that kind of work.
Perfect. Yeah. So a question that will interest our audience probably a lot is, you know, every day we see businesses coming to us, they're lacking up-to-date reports, or we say, look, put an application in, and they say, oh, I've got to run off to my accountant, and down the track, you feel 2 weeks later, finally, they've got their reconciliations up to date.
Yeah.
Is there anything that, well, how does a bookkeeper, or even specifically your firm, I guess, help business owners present their businesses in a better light when making financial applications?
Absolutely. So timeliness is, as you mentioned, is the key with that. So with cloud accounting, yeah, absolutely, you're able to get the data in faster. So therefore, you should be able to get the accounts reconciled faster, and therefore produce the reports. The reports within all the cloud software are usually sufficient. However, you still need to ask the question: what is the why do you need to look at the financials? For example, if you're going for a bank application, there are certain things that you want to sit down with your bookkeeper or accountant to make sure that certain things are reflected or highlighted to be able to show your, say, capacity to repay, or and that kind of thing. So that's what we look at.
Does your company work with any financiers at all? Like when a client is financing with different types of financiers, is there any, I guess, assistance from my accounts with other financiers in terms of providing information?
Absolutely. We normally have a bit of a panel that we refer out to. Again, we never want to have like a one fit or one solution for every client. So we have multiple contacts that we'd like to say, hey, you should talk to so and so and so and so, and according to best fit for you, move forward with that. But that's as far as our involvement with there would go. Be putting in contact with the best people.
Yeah.